Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. The original Harley Benton Fusion was probably the biggest game changer the budget guitar space has seen in the last 5 years, at least. It was the first guitar I came across under 400 bucks that not only had eye-watering specs, stainless steel frets, a Korean Floyd Rose 1000 tremolo, but also had great build quality backed by the Germans at Thomann, one of the largest retail giants in the guitar industry. In my opinion, at that time, it was the undisputed king of budget guitars. Fast forward a few years, we're now at the tail end of 2021 somehow, and while we've now got the new and improved third generation of Fusions, Harley Benton isn't the only game in town anymore. A lot of other brands have started to rise to the occasion. All across the industry, better specs, better build quality, budget guitars have never been better. So that brings up the question, is the Harley Benton Fusion 3 still the undisputed king of budget guitars, or has another taken the crown? Let's take a closer look. So, full disclosure, and a lot of you who watch the channel regularly probably already know this, I found the original Harley Benton Fusion so impressive, it actually convinced me to join the team in a limited design role. At the time, I really believed that guitar was going to push the budget space in terms of wider accessibility, of better specs, and better build quality to more guitarists. And I turned out to be right, to an extent. I mean, heck, you even have Squires now with roasted maple necks, which just a few years ago used to be a custom shop only option. And not this particular one, but I was involved with the latest Fusion 3 color drop. So all that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about this. Alright, so for specs, the Niato body remains unchanged from even the first version. Niato is currently what all the main import factories in Asia use as a mahogany substitute since it has similar qualities and it's native to the area. Something that has been added since I uploaded my demo of the original in 2018 is that now a lot of the colors come with roasted flame maple bolt-on necks and fingerboards, which is absolutely insane, first of all, as a concept. Like, again, in very recent memory, that used to be a custom shop only option. But second, by chemically treating and roasting the wood, you make it less susceptible to changes in climate. Think about how much water expands and contracts as you freeze or you thaw it. So the idea is, by removing all the moisture, temperature and humidity changes don't cause the neck to move nearly as much. It also has the added bonus of just looking fantastic. Dark caramelized roasted flame maple with the silver sparkle and brush chrome hardware. Yes. If silver sparkle isn't your thing, there are now a huge number of color options with different pickup configurations. Some of my favorites are Daphne Blue Satin with HSS pickups and a non-roasted Blue Blackburst HSH with an ebony fingerboard. Personally though, I love the silver sparkle, and that's why I asked for one for the video. And not only is it stable, but the Fusion is a fantastic player. Modern C neck shape, decently rolled fingerboard edges, and the frets are flush with the fingerboard. Non-rolled fingerboard edges and non-flush sharp fret ends are usually big downfalls of budget import guitars, and neither problem is found here. They were a little scratchy for bends right out of the box, not gonna lie, but that might have just been residue because after a bit of play, bends have smoothed themselves out. So nice, I'm not gonna complain about that. One thing I do have to mention though, and I think you should be able to see this from the B-roll, is that there's a pretty large indent on the back of the neck here. Could have happened in shipping, but it seemed to be packed pretty well. In fact, I've got a whole unboxing video on this and several other models, so you can see how they're protected and shipped from Germany. If it was damaged in shipping, it kind of highlights the risk of buying these in the US and why they should maybe consider setting up some sort of US distribution. And if it wasn't damaged in shipping, it should have definitely been marked as a B stock, because it's disappointing that there's like a pothole on an otherwise phenomenal neck. Now, one of the coolest staple features of the Fusions is that even at this price with the roasted flame maple necks, they come with stainless steel jumbo frets. And I've heard a lot of people who aren't familiar with the brands or familiar with the factories claim that the stainless steel frets are of poor quality. They're actually Blacksmith, DHP's commercial brand made in Korea, and they're the OEM supplier for a bunch of other high-profile brands, which makes sense seeing as all these import guitars are made in the same factories. So I don't believe they're ultra premium like Jescar, but they're at least comparable to other guitars with stainless steel frets out of Korea and Indonesia. I'm not trying to be the mouth of propaganda for Harley Benton or anything, like the Department of Love and Truth for Harley Benton. I'm literally just sharing what I know because I got the insider info. Now, one other defining feature of the first Fusions was the Korean Floyd 1000 on every single model. Funnily enough, most of the recently introduced Fusion 3s though don't have Floyds at all. And that's not necessarily because we don't want to include them. There's just an incredible shortage of Floyds and Floyd parts at the moment, so don't count them out for the future. Global circumstance just has it, so it's hard to put them in a good quality guitar and keep it under 400 bucks in this current moment. Instead, here there's a Wilkinson 2-point trem, which has been more in vogue for super strats in recent years. Feels really solid, really stable, and I love how the brush chrome feels for palm mutes. I've always felt that brush chrome has a higher end feel to regular polished chrome, so I love it on both the trem and the locking tuners. And if trems aren't your thing, there's also a low profile hardtail option, though that's not available on all the colors at the moment. It's not on the silver sparkle, for example, so you can also do what I do, ignore the bar completely and just lock that shit down. Moving on to pickups, the Fusion 3s, just like the original Fusions, sport Roswell Alnico 5 powered humbuckers, and I've said it before, they're fine. They work for everything you'd want them to. And people ask all the time, like, when is Harley Benton going to include Fishman Fluence, going to include Bare Knuckle? And that's not really the point of this brand. This is a pre-built mod platform. You don't have to physically glue it together or paint it, but other than that, it's perfect to make your own because all the emphasis has been put on the build quality and the specs rather than name brand user replaceable components. In fact, I had huge reservations about using the EMGs when we were putting together the Amaroks because as soon as you're spending money on A brand pickups and A brand hardware, that extra cost either means you're gonna have to sacrifice in other areas or you're gonna have to make the guitar more expensive. And pickups are so subjective. No matter what you put in there, someone's gonna be pissed that they're paying more for something they didn't really want anyways. So we've stuck with the Roswells. It helps keep the cost down, and they sound, you know, not bad. And it's easy enough to swap them out for a Seymour Duncan JB59 set or EMGs, you know, whatever your taste. The Fusion 3 is something you can make into like your own affordable custom guitar with insane specs. So now in its third iteration, is this still the king of budget guitars? In my experience so far this year, yeah, I still haven't come across any guitar better in terms of bang for buck. The aesthetics, the build quality, the hardware and specs, as a package, it's unreal for the price tag. And as a retailer house brand, it's almost impossible for the big guitar brands to match it in those regards, at least for now. By that I mean the Fusion 3, it still reigns supreme, but it's not the undisputed king. Other brands are closing in because back in 2018, the Fusion was mind-blowing. And it's still very, very impressive, but it's not leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else for the price anymore. There's some notable challengers getting very close with somewhat creative solutions. Sterling has the CT50 with the roasted maple neck and fingerboard, asymmetrical neck shape, and the oil finish on the neck feels absolutely incredible. It blows the Fusion satin finish out of the water. Ibanez has just come in with the AZ Essentials with a plastic unibody jack and the crazy dynamic switch that gives you an insane amount of versatility with 9 different pickup configurations and a $300 guitar. Both those have the Fusion beat in very specific aspects, but in my opinion, the Fusion still comes out on top overall. The stainless steel frets and rolled fingerboard edges are just, I mean, chef's kiss. But given how much ground other companies have made up since the Fusion first launched and how everyone uses the same factories, give it another few years, and who knows? In the meantime though, if you're looking in the here and now, the Fusion 3 is still a hell of a deal for the price. Roasted maple neck and fingerboard is ultra stable, the stainless steel frets feel fantastic, and the silver sparkle on this one, it's incredible. And overall, I mean, Fusion or not, it's insane how good budget guitars have become. If an affordable, pre-built mod platform you can turn into your own custom guitar is something that's interesting to you, link in the description if you want to check it out. So those are just my thoughts on the new Fusion 3. I would love to know what you're thinking in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, that way you don't miss any new videos from me. All that stuff actually really helps out. Massive shout out to Luke for doing a great job with the mix and to Connor for editing the video. And of course to Scott Kretschmann and the rest of the amazing patrons for making this all possible. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.